And good evening, everybody. This is Vinny Milletti with Milletti Law, the strongest name in law. We continue on today. Well, first of all, the date today is October 27th, 2021. That is October 27th, 2021. The time now is about 10 o'clock p.m. Chilly outside. Winter's coming. Everybody knows it's getting colder here in Brooklyn. This is another video of our installment. This is actually episode number 5 of the L&E series, The Fusion of Law and Entertainment. The L&E series, The Fusion of Law and Entertainment. Just to give you a quick reminder where this comes from. Look, the market has demanded that we have a greater focus on entertainment law with the firm, where we're educating our visitors, educating our clients, potential clients, former clients, and just those generally that are just interested in getting a little bit more background in this category of law. Educating everybody on the unique features of entertainment law contracts, whether those features may be, unique features of contracts, negotiations, intellectual property issues, regulatory matters. These kind of contracts generally focus on artists, labels, brands, production, marketing agencies. You usually see them artist labels, brands, production, marketing agencies. Without further ado, just real quick, sign up on the website, www.millettilaw.com. That's www.millettilaw.com. Join the newsletter. This way, you always stay in touch. We have fresh new content coming out all the time, whether it be, by writing, videos, pictures, I don't know, have content coming out all the time. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You have that little red link down below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel below. Obviously, we have a lot of other ways to communicate. We have Instagram, we have Facebook. Again, we have podcasts. We have all kinds of stuff going on. Okay. So today we're going to focus on more of that contract negotiation stage when it comes to entertainment law. Today we're going to focus on royalties. All right, very exciting part, royalties. We're looking for long-term wealth here. That's what we do. Most of the time, this is mostly going to focus on artists and labels. Artists and labels. I mean, when it comes to royalties, royalties are very, very heavily individually focused. The title of today's video is From Rags to Riches by way of royalties. From rags to riches by way of royalties. Here at Milletti Law, where we have the fusion of law and entertainment, the strongest name in law. All right, so let's get down to it. Right, so let's start. Royalties. All right, so what exactly is a royalty, right? So a royalty it's some kind of percentage, some kind of formulaic expression, giving value to something, and it's typically something that's agreed upon it's a stream of income for an artist, right? So today we're going to focus really mostly on artists and labels. It's generally a stream of income that goes to an artist. It's a payment. When in this industry, you're looking, depending on the artist and what they're producing, you're looking about 10 to 15%. As a lot of my work in e-commerce, a lot of times, or intellectual property, right? A lot of times your royalties between 1% and 4%. 4% is a higher royalty when it comes to intellectual property, when it comes to like trademarks and licensing. This is a totally different world. Royalties in entertainment law, when it comes to artists and labels, are very unique to the individual. It's just something that, people feel, obviously artists are very connected to their work and they want to be basically, obviously paid and compensated for the work on a long-term basis. A lot of times the labels may act as the bank in this situation. They may kind of like front the money to the artist, the artist take a draw on the money and the labels will pull it back, whatever the case is. In some instances, an artist might not even receive anything until the label receives something. It's typically negotiated for between the parties. There's always some kind of compensation formula, always some kind of formulaic expression, always some kind of rules that you could follow on afterwards. You usually see these in the license agreement. If you go into one of these contracts, one of these entertainment contracts, it'll usually be in the licensing portion, or it might have its own dedicated portion of royalties. It really depends on who's authoring it. I mean, when it comes to like money, I would always put money like an dependency, because those things kind of could fluctuate, right? Royalties, they could fluctuate over time. They could fluctuate with performance on how artists perform. I mean, if an artist winds up being a dud, you might want to have, let's just say, I don't know, a 6-month renegotiation period. Now, 6 months seems too slow. You maybe want like a 1 year, you might want like a 2-year contract with a 1-year renegotiation, just to build some kind of like to lock in the artist if something's if their performance is pretty well, or if their performance seems something that generates a lot of excitement. All right, so I just kind of want to bring up So we spoke about kind of what they were, right? They were payments, steady stream of income. It's generally like it's a formulaic expression. It's a payment made from one party to another. It's guided by contract. Again, it could be some percentage of gross revenues, net revenues, some percentage of sales. In entertainment law, for artists, is typically between 10 and 25%, depending on how great the artist is. And the label will usually front it at first. Okay, so I actually did take some notes here. So there are generally in America, when it comes to like royalties, you generally find, I want to say, 4 types of royalties. If I can just find my notes here. All right, so royalties generally take 4 forms, right? And this is what I've had in the past with artists and musicians. They generally come in types of 4 forms, right? So you have royalties from print rights. Keep in mind, when you say print, you really mean like publication, because print also means like digital print, right? So print rights, you usually get the royalties from, let's say something kind of like something known as mechanical royalties, which would actually come from the recording, the recording of actual songs and placing on music, CDs, DVDs, whatever format you play. I mean, obviously, the industry is changing because we're becoming more of like a streaming society now, right? So you're starting to see like the actual recording, CDs, print out CDs, physical, tangible mediums to share and sell and purchase and buy music is starting to change now. You're getting more like streaming, digital, electronic. Performance royalties is the third portion of it, right? So you had royalties from print rights and publication, royalties from mechanical royalties, royalties from performance royalties. For instance, the artist obviously goes on stage, raps on stage, right? And then the fourth type is synchronization royalties. This happens when somebody uses the artist's work in some kind of variation somewhere else, some kind of form on stage in a movie. I imagine someone like the RZA, I'm probably aging myself. I don't even know if you people even know who the RZA is at this point. So RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan, he historically will do, martial arts movies, and he'll have Wu-Tang beats on martial art movies. I mean, they just happen to like that. I'm probably dating myself, right? A lot of you probably don't even know what the RZA is in the Wu-Tang Clan. But whatever. But he was that was a perfect example of synchronization royalties, because you'll see his music and his productions basically everywhere. I think Swiss Beats also was another one. Again, dating myself, but not as old as the RZA. So the 4 types of royalties you generally will find are royalties from print and publication rights, mechanical royalties, performance royalties from performing on stage, and synchronization royalties, which include adaptive forms royalties from artists. All right. So another thing I do want to kind of just focus on too, because I try to keep these things just somewhat. Another thing that I would always recommend that you think about and discuss with your clients. When the clients come in, you really have to work on it. Just to kind of focus on print royalties, right? Print and mechanical royalties, and you got to focus on where that's coming from, right? So that's actually extremely broad. Because what's happening is as society is becoming more digitized, we're finding more mediums in which we deliver our performance, deliver our products, deliver our musical compositions, deliver our beats, artists deliver their artwork. It used to be back in the days, it was just, cassette tapes and records, right? I mean, obviously you have a lot more now. You have ringtones, you have WAV files, streaming tracks, downloads, MP3s, musical toys, computer games, and just, I said ringtones already, right? Just DVDs, whatever variation now they have, Blu-rays. I mean, there's so many mediums in which you could deliver your musical composition. The artist could deliver their content. There's so many different ways to do it, and each way needs to get some kind of each way needs to be delivered in royalties to be expressed in a different fashion, right? Because you're not going to have the same royalty attributable to something that's really, you're going to give a lower royalty generally, something that's less profitable than something that's more profitable, right? Or maybe on the flip side, maybe in terms of negotiation, something that a medium that's delivered more, maybe say like a stream, they might want to negotiate a smaller percentage per stream, because that might be delivered in a lot more abundant fashion than, than a ringtone, than a cassette, than a DVD, and a CD. God, CDs. We don't do CDs anymore either, right? So this is, well, as you can see, just this is an extremely what's what I'm looking for. extremely adaptive, ever-changing, dynamic area of law. But you know, the artist should be thinking about always when you're negotiation, when you're representing the artist, always be thinking about, you know, where those royalties are going to tie in, what the royalties are going to attach to. They're going to attach to, again, to some tangible medium, some electronic format medium. You know, you always want to talk about, you know, like we mentioned before, your 4 types of royalties, where again, you find them, right? Find them on stage, synchronization, find them on mechanical, you find them on generic print. And that's really just where I want to kind of cut it off here. I don't want to get too deep. There's just so much to go. I don't want to keep these videos relatively short and entertaining. But so that's essentially where we are. So this was From Rags to Riches, by way of royalties. This was episode number 5 of the L&E series of Millennial Law. We, as always, glad you were able to join us here, which is the Home of the Unusually Motivated, which is a trademarked name, by the way. So if you can use that, like royalties, please. So glad you could join us, as always, here at the Home of the Unusually Motivated. Of course, if you have questions, you can email me, you can comment below, you can visit the website, www.millettilaw.com, www.millettilaw.com. You can go there, contact us, vmilletti@millettilaw.com, send an email, you know, again, comment below. And that's going to be it for tonight. So look, we're going to let you go here. Yours in, as always, yours in law, love, and lips. This has been Milletti Law, the strongest name in law, and this was episode 5 of the L&E series, the fusion of law and entertainment. As always, I wish you all a fantastic night and have a beautiful week.